Welcome back to the Nameless College Football Show, where we don't have a name or graphics, but we more than make up for that with enthusiasm, entertainment, knowledge, charisma, charm, handsomeness, all that great stuff. My name is Brandon. As always, I'm joined by my wonderful and talented co-host, Petey. Petey, how are you doing?
Cold.
It is freezing, and
This is not supposed to happen in Charleston, South Carolina. We are supposed to be 78 degrees all the way until January, and it's 30.
Yeah, and you also went hunting this morning.
I did, and
And you
forgot
regret?
even
Yeah. And you did this. You also celebrated a birthday. This has been a huge couple of days here for you.
It's been eventful. It's been an eventful weekend / 3 days. No.
Yeah. So congratulations, happy birthday. You're getting younger. You're like Benjamin Button
I don't
every
think
year.
so.
So you may not have had much time to watch college football this weekend, but that's okay because I did. The game that I know, the game that I think is most worth talking about, Indiana in Penn State. This was incredible. I don't even know how they got to the end of the game, and Indiana looked like just like shit, honestly, the whole day.
Yeah.
And I had chalked it up to a loss, and I was devastated because we are in a college football fantasy league. Indiana is one of my teams, and for it to all come crashing down against Penn State, that was tough. But the final drive by Indiana featured several ridiculous plays. They went 10 plays, 80 yards, a minute 15, ending with what may have been the most incredible catch I've seen all season, I think. Omar Cooper, back of the end zone, managed to get a foot down. I don't know how he got a foot down.
It doesn't make sense. Like, looking at that play, it doesn't. I mean, obviously, I didn't see it in real time. I watched it later on, but
Yeah.
going back and looking at it, like, he tapped it with his left foot, but it looked like his right toe was going to go out of bounds first, but it just somehow just ding, and then he goes into the stands or into the back of the end zone.
It was crazy. I don't understand how it happened. I scared my child yelling about it, and so apologies to him if he's listening to this years later in therapy. But yeah, so they won, and Gus Johnson was on the call. It was a perfect Gus Johnson game, and they were talking about Fernando Mendoza in the Heisman race. Was this his Heisman moment? Got me thinking, does the Heisman Trophy matter anymore? So I wanted to ask you, you're the expert who is freezing cold.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Heisman Trophy mattered to you? Because I have a specific one in mind for myself.
The last one that mattered, I want to say Cam Newton or
Okay.
Oh man, what? Yeah, it probably Cam Newton, because after that, I think I just kind of like it didn't matter as much. But we had there was like a string of quarterbacks coming out. It's always been a quarterback award, or at least in recent history. But I think the NFL has kind of warmed or come around on the idea that these guys coming out of college just because they win the Heisman doesn't mean they're going to be a great NFL quarterback, because that just gets proven to be false over time and time again. Cam Newton was a freak of nature, and he's the last one to win it. Or not the last. He's the last one that I can remember of like being worthy. Like, obviously the best player in the country.
Yes. Yeah, and he also that man is responsible for so much of our angst as Gamecock fans because along the way he drilled us in the SEC championship game that year, and then
And he
was
had a
so
great
good with
comeback win earlier on in the season. Like we were up like 2
yes.
touchdowns, and they came back and beat us. And
He did that to Bama that year too. Like, and there was no one on that team.
I feel like he did it to everyone because they were always like down. They were always down by like two scores, and they'd come back and beat whoever they were playing.
Yeah, just a really bad team. And then his successful MVP season led to that was the shining star on one Mike Shula's resume.
Yes.
That led him to torture us for
Mike Shula.
the season.
Yeah, something he did 15 years ago.
Yeah, so thankfully he's gone. But I'm with you. That same era for me. The last one I really cared about was the Johnny Manziel Heisman season because that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was 2 years after Cam. That was 2012. Was Johnny Manziel. That was the last one I remember like really being into.
That's the same year that we were trying to get Clowney to win. Correct.
I believe so. That sounds accurate. And that just
I never really bought in on Manziel as a NFL quarterback.
No, you were ahead of the game on that one. Because I remember thinking he could pull. I was like, this is the next version of Russell Wilson, except better.
Well,
but
I mean,
you
he was
nailed
like
that.
Russell, but he was not like he was an improviser. He didn't. He was always just making something happen out of nothing. So
Yeah.
I mean, not that you can coach that, but you're not. That's not gonna happen in the NFL like it's gonna happen in college. So
Yeah.
and also
Real
there's a
bummer.
whole bunch of scandal around him the entire time. His last year. So it just was. I didn't have a lot of faith in him at the moment, and he quickly came to fruition on that one.
The Browns should have hired you because, that did not work out at all. Could you tell me who even won the Heisman Trophy last season?
I think you asked me if I knew who won the Heisman Trophy last season, but you broke up. So I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because this is something I used to have memorized. I would know through like 95 to the Johnny Manziel Heisman. I just knew who won it every year. And I actually had to look this up because I'd already forgotten.
I know it's going to be obvious once you say it.
Yeah.
And God. He's got to be playing for like the Jets or somebody now.
He does play for a team he plays for an NFL team that you would not want to watch on purpose. And I will say, even his college team was entertaining, but not necessarily good.
I want to say it's like a Midwest team that he was playing for.
Close. I would probably consider them a little more West than Midwest.
And maybe, I don't know why about Washington's coming to mind, but I don't think that's correct.
I will give you a very big hint.
Okay.
The coach is the most famous member of the team.
Coaches.
To the point where you're not even going to associate the coach with the team because the coach is such a star in his own right. Not necessarily because he's a great coach, but a big personality. Probably the biggest personality in college football.
I mean, you're talking about Kiffin?
No, that's a good guess.
Okay.
Even bigger. Some might say almost certainly blacker.
Blacker.
Yeah.
My brain's not working very well today. I'm very.
No, it's okay. You woke up early to go hunt.
Yeah.
And this proves my point because this is more of a reflection on the Heisman Trophy. So we're going to get into this discussion. Travis Hunter over playing for Dion in Colorado.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You knew it.
Yeah.
Because it came down to him and Ashton Genty. I probably would have given it to Genty myself, but two-way guy.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's already suffered a season-ending injury, I think, with the Jags this
I
year.
was gonna say, isn't he with the Jags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this is my issue with the Heisman Trophy is that it just no longer feels like it matters, and that drives me crazy because I miss it mattering.
But
And
also,
I'm
why did it matter back then, though?
that might be an even better
Were we
question.
just have we come
We're
around on the
stupid
idea
children.
that it doesn't matter, or I mean, were we just hyper inflating it for what 50 years for no reason?
Possibly because even when I was like really invested in it,
Yeah.
like you were saying earlier, it did not correlate
Yeah, it never didn't
to
translate to the NFL.
no, particularly with the quarterbacks, because
Yeah,
some
like
of these
Troy Smith won
quarterbacks,
it one year.
yep, Troy Smith, Jason White at Oklahoma, Eric Crouch, Nebraska, Chris Winkie, Florida State, and they were bad. Like
Yeah,
the most successful pro quarterback. Well, now in recent years, you've gotten like Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, but before that, RG3, Jameis Winston, Sam Bradford, Tim Tebow. So I think I wonder if it mattered because college football mattered more. I feel like college football is bigger than it's ever been, but it
yeah.
doesn't
Well,
matter
I
as
feel
much.
because of it's probably due to like the networks back then. There was so much more like there's so much more competition for your eye now
Yeah.
with streaming and all that kind of stuff. And now that we're going to be start moving back towards the old like cable style of TV, thanks to YouTube and ESPN and Disney, where I mean, back then you had what your six channels you could watch
Yeah.
sports on. So there was a lot more focus on these big storylines, where now
Yeah.
you have so many more storylines that you can splinter off into. So I
Yeah.
don't know if that's the case. I mean, if that's truly what's happening, but that would make some sort of sense to me.
And kind of going along with that, like if a game was on TV, odds are it was a big game. And
Yeah.
now you just have all these big games. And you're right, there were storylines going along with these games that we don't get anymore, like whether they were conference games and you were playing someone who was close to you regionally. And so
Yeah.
it all mattered. And so you would have these Heisman moments that Gus Johnson was saying that Mendoza was having, except Mendoza's moment didn't really feel like a Heisman moment for me. Just
Yeah.
because, like, okay, you beat an
I feel
overmatched Penn
good
State.
about it just because I think Indiana needed to have a game where they had to come back against some kind of adversity.
Yeah,
They've handled everyone they've played, all year, and they haven't really they haven't been forced into a corner yet.
yeah, and it's
So,
not going to happen moving forward because they play
yeah, very unlikely that they will.
Purdue and Wisconsin, who have combined one Big Ten win this season. So
Yeah, well, I think Wisconsin just beat somebody in the top 25 this past weekend?
yeah, who'd they beat? No, okay, they beat Washington.
Oh, well, I think Washington has been ranked at some point, but not.
So, and it's, geez, Penn State. I didn't realize Penn State, they don't have a Big Ten win either. So, yeah, not the toughest schedule for Indiana, but at least Penn State is kind of one of those college football brand names. So,
Yeah, yeah,
that does make sense. But it just, I don't know. I miss, for whatever reason it mattered initially, I do miss it mattering. But I don't know. It kind of just is representative of college football as a whole these days to me. How
yeah.
it's less of its own thing and more of minor league NFL.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, but everybody knew, the top 10 storylines for every week. It was you had so much focus on what was going on these big time games. Whereas you have so many, I feel like, especially in the Big Ten, you don't have these big games anymore because you've got so many teams that there's a lot of good teams. I mean, a lot of shitty teams playing the three good ones,
Yeah.
and then in the ACC, you just have all shitty ones, and they can't decide who can win the conference. So there's not like the Power Five is gone. We have the group of four, or the group of five, and the Power Four. And one of those Power Four shouldn't even be considered a Power Four. We just don't have the storyline, the mechanism in place anymore to create these big storyline games.
Yeah, it's like more isn't always better. Should be the lesson here, but they'll never learn it. So,
No. As long as they get more money, they don't give a shit.
Yes. So I guess focusing on this year's Heisman race, to you, what is your criteria for the Heisman Trophy winner? What's your personal criteria? Because, like, this era we're talking about, when it did matter, the criteria was kind of shitty for the most part because it was basically just the best quarterback on the best team, and you would win the award. Didn't matter if you were terrible. If you were the best quarterback on the best team, you're the Heisman.
And to me, it's always been about which player affects the game the most. So, I mean, a lot of times that's going to be a quarterback just because they touch the ball on every play.
Yeah.
But defensively, there's a lot of players out there that have a giant impact as well. And if they were gone, then their teams would be in serious trouble. Like with us, we had Clowney. I mean, this year, what's his name? Indiana's linebacker Fisher he is on every tackle. So without him, they probably would be in a lot more trouble. Even though they do have Mendoza, which Mendoza is a very good quarterback, I don't think he has. I think he's serviceable. He can. There's a lot of guys like him that can do what he does, but he's got a lot of talent around him, and he's got a fantastic coach.
Yes.
So Heisman, my number one Heisman contender, Kurt Signetti. He's the best one.
Give it to him. Because Mendoza, his numbers before that final drive were terrible. Even after, he only finished with 218 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, and ran for another touchdown. But you're right about the defensive players never really getting much love. Hunter won it last year. He played defensive back as well as wide receiver. I thought for sure Ndamukong Suh was going to win it that year with Nebraska because he was incredible. I've seen some talk about Jacob Rodriguez with Texas Tech, their linebacker.
Yeah.
Him being in the race. He's got 7 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, basically generating a turnover a game at this point. But then it's like, are the voters ever going to do this with a straight defensive player who doesn't pull double duty? I don't know. I don't know if they can quantify how good a defensive player is compared to an offensive player.
I think they can't quantify it because they only know how to read offensive stats, apparently. I mean, if you see how the AP has ranked teams this year, or I mean in the recent history as well, they are completely trash. They have gotten it wrong horrifically, in my opinion. But they only the AP is always going to look for the easy answer. The easy answer is this quarterback has put up great numbers every game, so let's make them Heisman. So Julian Sayin, obviously Heisman candidate, they have played nobody worth playing.
Yes. And
here we are. So he's going to put up great numbers. And what has he had? Maybe 3 interceptions all year? Fine, but you're playing Purdue and Kennesaw State. And just why we even... you've not had any big-time moments.
Yeah, I think... First of all, Ohio State always has incredible receivers. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. Those guys are ridiculous. The Sayin stat that kind of proves the point, because it's so incredible that I had to check multiple sources on it. Do you know what his completion percentage is?
I'm gonna guess and say 78.
81% completion percentage. Like, he
That
would
is
be a
that's pretty
standout
high.
free throw shooter. And this is his completion percentage, which tells me maybe not playing the best of competition. And in fairness to him, like, you play who's on the schedule, so
Yeah.
whatever. But we wouldn't do this with a smaller school guy who was putting up numbers. But just because it's Ohio State, he's at the front of the conversation. Mendoza's at the front of the conversation.
Yeah. If you're
So,
playing Iowa every week, then maybe that would, that'd be really impressive. But also, you still have
yeah.
elite on at wide receiver. But if you're going up against great defenses, 9 out of 10 weeks, I would be more inclined to put you in on that tier. But right now, it's kind of like Boise State beating up on the Mountain West every week for 15 years, and then everybody complained about them not getting into the playoffs. But
Yeah. And that was used against Genty last year, too. Like, okay.
yeah,
He did have some big, like, he had a great game against Oregon. So he did show up when they played competition outside the playoffs when they just shut it down because they were like, your quarterback can't throw. We're going to put 12 in the box, maybe even 17 in the box. I don't know. But if he was at Ohio State, they could have played the same schedule. And I think he would have won the award simply because he was at Ohio State. And I think that might be happening with Sayin this year. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but I do think something about Sayin is a little bit interesting to me. He was asked about his top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL. Did you see this list that he gave?
I did not. I've
So,
not seen Saiyan say anything ever.
which is kind of ironic, right?
Yeah,
More like not saying. So, Josh Allen, not a bad pick.
yeah.
Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, and Daniel Jones.
Okay, I get Stafford, but why Goff and Daniel Jones?
I would say that is quite interesting to pick those people. It is quite interesting to pick those guys whose playing styles are all different. Is there something they all have in common that would make you pick them? I don't know. Something they have in common that might make you think perhaps they were superior to other quarterbacks. I don't know.
Something to do with the melanin in their complexion.
Just very crazy in a league with also Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And, like, look, even if you're going down this route, Patrick Mahomes, he's shown some tendencies. Like, I would say he voted a certain way that would make you feel comfortable naming him in your favorite quarterbacks because he's also wildly more exciting than Jared Goff or Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
that's when I knew, like, that's when you hear, like, the racism dog whistle. When you start naming Daniel Jones as your favorite quarterback, the guy who tripped over his own feet running for a touchdown. Oh, God.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's
Come
also. What have you seen those two guys do that was impressive? Other than they just survive in the NFL for some reason, but these are not guys that you think that as like elite. I mean, he could have gone. Like, he didn't have to pick like players that are playing now. He could have gone back in time a little bit. Like there's been, other play like he could have said Brett Favre. Still not.
Yes.
Still, but
It's still weird, but yes, there are. For as long as white people were only allowed to play, like those were the only people allowed to play quarterback were white guys.
yeah,
There was a lot of white guys who were good to choose from,
yeah.
and you picked Daniel Jones. Maybe they asked current. I guess that will be the thing I will give him. Maybe they asked him current NFL players, and so he couldn't say Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, whoever. But you can certainly do better than Daniel Jones. Hell, he's at Ohio State, a guy who started his career at Ohio State, Joe Burrow. You couldn't pick Joe
Yeah.
Burrow?
Yeah, Heisman winner, Joe Burrow.
Come on. Like,
I think
this
Joe's
is,
hurt though, isn't he?
he is.
Yeah.
There's got the,
But still,
I would argue watching Joe Burrow on the sideline injured is better than watching Daniel Jones play.
all day. All
It's
day.
just so Julian not going to get my Heisman vote because that's just a little iffy there.
This name just popped into my head. Would you rather watch Daniel Jones or Jay Cutler?
God, that is crazy. I don't know if anyone's ever given less of a fuck than Jay Cutler.
Not at all.
This guy, I've never seen anyone care less. He would have a sack full of fucks and not give one. Like this guy, and I think I respect that because he seems like just the worst guy to be around, probably. But
I feel like he's probably the worst guy to be around on the field, but off the field, he's a lot of fun.
yeah, because he just he doesn't care. He just doesn't. That's his whole brand is he doesn't care. You can't make him care. He refuses to care. I think Daniel Jones cares. And anytime I've seen an interview with Daniel Jones, he seems like a nice guy. Like he seems inoffensive.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of interesting or entertainment value to his personality. He's just a regular guy. Probably would be working at a bank.
Speaking
if
of
not for
offensive,
football.
he could have said Aaron Rodgers.
That's true.
Well, one of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time.
I mean, Baker Mayfield. There's so many white quarterbacks to choose from. I cannot understand. Justin Herbert. I cannot understand why he went with these quarterbacks. Jared Goff and Daniel Jones.
Did he just blank?
I don't understand.
And just those are the only four he could think of at the moment? Or did he have time to think about this?
Oh, yeah. We should probably. I should probably check the schedule because it's probably like these teams had just played each other and he watched 2 games all weekend. And I will say, much to everyone's surprise, Daniel Jones is leading the NFL in passing yards this year. Not per game, but passing yards. But also, a lot of that is due to the fact that his running back is the best running back in the league. And I think I could lead the league in rushing yards, in passing yards, if I was handing the ball off to Jonathan Taylor, who just ran for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. So if you got a guy doing that in the NFL,
also, you don't have, if you're running for 250 yards, or one guy's running for 250 yards, you don't have to throw the ball at all.
No, very low pressure situation there for Daniel Jones. And I don't know. This has been bugging me for a couple weeks now because I think this interview he did was a couple weeks ago, and
so saying some shit.
Yeah, he should go back to not saying, like you said. And then I do want to talk about, since we're doing just random facts, I don't think Jacob Rodriguez is racist. So I'm going to lead with that. We're not doing these players a racist show. But he started his career at Virginia as a quarterback. And now he's a linebacker at Texas Tech in the Heisman conversation. So, should have done that with Luke Doty.
You know what? Well, you've seen him go from like quarterback to safety or something like that before. Usually not linebacker. But what didn't the Giants draft Phillip Rivers and try to make him to a safety, and then he said no, and they traded him to the Chargers? Am I right on that? I feel like I'm pulling that out of nowhere, but
no, that was Eli's doing, because the Chargers drafted Eli and they said they weren't going to San Diego, and so there was a trade there. Because I don't remember the safety conversation. There was a player this happened to, and I'm trying to
I
think of who it
remember there was
was.
somebody that was drafted as a quarterback, and then was like they tried to make a safety out of him, or wanted to make a safety out. I can't remember who it was.
Okay, because I just looked up, just to make sure I wasn't off, I just looked up Phillip Rivers' 40 time at the combine, and it was over 5 seconds.
Oh, okay, that's like
So that would have been tough.
yeah,
That would have been funny. They should have tried to make him
Yeah.
a safety. He needs safety. The man has. You know how I know he's not a safety? Because he's got like 37 children, so he can't protect anything.
he's always
He's got
always getting
so
you.
many kids.
yeah, he's getting a lot of them by the goalie.
Yeah, he's like the Marcus Freeman of the NFL. So no, there was a quarterback they did that too because it.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but maybe there was some. I mean, who knows at this point?
I will say, just to bring this back around to race, because I know people like race in their sports, typically only something that happens to non-white quarterbacks. And Rodriguez, he is white Hispanic. So I'm wondering if they made the change because Rodriguez, just sight unseen, they're like, Rodriguez, he's brown for sure. We can't have him taking snaps and throwing the ball. That's ridiculous. Let's move him to linebacker, and we'll be done with it. That's my hot take for the week.
And look at where Virginia is right now, and then they lost their quarterback.
See, they could have. And to your point about Kurt Signetti, a man thinking ahead. You got a kid, Fernando Mendoza. He's like, I'm using my Hispanic as a quarterback, leading the Heisman race. So, I don't know. I don't know who is your pick right now to win the Heisman.
I think the Heisman like front runner absolutely should be Diego Pavia.
Oh,
He has
another Hispanic. Oh, Petey, we got to get on this, man. If
It's
you're
just-
Hispanic,
Yeah.
okay. Continue with Diego Pavia. I'm making notes. You talk about Diego Pavia, why he's your Heisman, and I got to get in touch with it.
He's an
Yeah.
incredible quarterback, and that team has just completely he has evolved that team all around him. They were garbage before he came there, and then he's just like last year. He came out of nowhere. I think they won 6 games last year, and then this year they've just built on it. Obviously, they have a great coach too, but if it wasn't for him, I feel like Diego and Clark Lee have built that team together
Yeah.
out of nothing. And he could have gone to Auburn because Auburn wanted him, I think, if I remember correctly. But still, and Hugh Freeze might have a job still. But yeah, I mean, if you take away Diego Pavia from that team, I mean, like Vanderbilt just goes back to 4-win seasons.
What we've known of them, yeah.
Yeah. And also Fisher at Indiana and Rodriguez at Tech. Other than I think Pavia is the best. He might not be the best quarterback, but he means the most to that team.
Biggest impact. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good pick, and that's what the award should be about. Like, who is the most impactful player instead of who is the quarterback on the best team or who is even the best player on the best team. Who is the most impactful for their program?
And I think Pavia could play linebacker or defensive end if he wanted to. He's not shying away from hits.
See, he should do this. They definitely would have given it to him then.
Yeah.
Like, two-way player. They tried to do that with the kid from Stanford, not Toby Gerhart, but there was another guy right before Toby Gerhart a while back, and they were like, "Hey, this is probably he didn't play either position very well, but they were like, hey."
It's like early. Is that like mid 2000s?
I think it was mid 2000s.
Yeah, man, that's 20 years ago.
Isn't that terrifying to think about?
I know.
Oh my gosh. So No, I think that is a very fair take, and you've very kindly included Hispanics, and I just don't see how you could go wrong with any of that. I think it was Owen Marichich for Stanford. He was 10th in the Heisman voting in 2010. He
Okay.
had 51 tackles, and he ran for 46 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was like a goal line fullback and a linebacker.
Oh, it's like, how do you only have 46 yards?
Yeah. Tough for old Owen, but 10th in the Heisman voting in that Cam Newton Heisman year. Wow, we tied that all the way back around. That is
Yeah.
beautiful. Muy bien. All right. So, the college football playoff released their first rankings last week. They will release them tonight, the night we're recording, but this comes out Wednesday morning because we want to give them a head start because they need it. Let's get into the most accurate playoff rankings, the Captain PD playoff picture, no agendas, nothing, just facts.
All right.
Who are we looking at this week? Number 1.
Ohio State continues.
There they go. Doesn't matter that the kid doesn't like black quarterbacks. Number 2.
Indiana pulling out the squeaker with against Penn State when they're pushed into a corner for the first time. So they're going to be something to reckon with in the playoffs.
This was impressive. Number 3.
A little bit of a mix-up. I've got Texas A&M.
Man, that was a good game. Their win against Missouri. I was going to bring up Missouri's running back Ahmad Hardy in the Heisman conversation, but they lost, so never mind. I won't bring him up.
Sorry, I lost the last.
Sorry. The internet connection. The internet. We were getting too woke on the podcast, and so they've been cutting the internet connection because they don't want you to hear about these Hispanic quarterbacks. But I was saying I was gonna bring up Ahmad Hardy, Mizzou's running back, in the Heisman convo, but they lost, so never mind. All right, number 4.
Alabama.
This was a pretty
LSU.
very boring game, but a win for Bama, and that's really just what LSU games are now.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Georgia.
Win against Mississippi State, who's actually looking a lot better.
Yeah, you texted me, like, I think when this game started, saying, like, Mississippi State's your new favorite for the conference or something like that.
That lasted 7 minutes, I believe.
And you immediately
7 minutes of real time.
Texted me, I was like, nope, never mind.
Yeah, I think it was like they jumped out, and I was like, oh, shit, they are doing it. And then they weren't anymore very quickly.
Yeah.
They got it out of their system.
Good for Georgia actually putting some touchdowns on the board before halftime this week. So
Yeah,
good change for them. Yeah.
Yes, trying something new. Number 6.
Ole Miss putting it on our local team, the Citadel, in impressive fashion, which they should have.
Possibly the best team in South Carolina this year, but yeah.
I don't know, Coastal. Coastal's
that's true. They're always good.
I think they've got 6 wins, and they're second place in their conference.
Yeah, the Citadel is not. They are 5th in the SoCon at 4-6, which is an improvement.
Still one more win than us.
Yes, so I don't think they're going to be on this list. But who is number 7?
Oregon. They beat Iowa in an Iowa-type game.
Yeah, this was a rough one.
I can't imagine having to watch that.
Yeah, they got a safety, and that ended up being like the final margin.
Yeah.
Was 18-16. Just very disgusting. Number 8.
I got Vandy taking care of Auburn in overtime.
This was an exciting game.
Yeah. Auburn is, now that Freeze is gone, they've decided to wake up a little bit. So that's, whoever they play, they're not going to be easy out for anybody. But, yeah, Vandy still keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yes, Pavia threw for 377 and 3 touchdowns, ran for 112 and a touchdown. Auburn's quarterback Ashton Daniels had a really good game too. 350 through the air,
Yeah.
two touchdowns on the ground, 89 yards. I don't know. It's very funny when teams lose their coach and they decide to play well. So
I know it's crazy. So maybe we should do something.
hint, 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 hint. So yes, number 9.
Texas Tech taking out or wiping the floor with BYU, and basically declaring that they are the best team in that conference. So
Yes,
I can't imagine anyone else in the Big 12 taking them down in a conference game or championship game.
I've never watched a game between two top 10 teams at the time and come away respecting each team so much less than heading into the game. This was just a disgusting game. Texas Tech should have won like 45-0, but I don't know what was happening with them. They kept getting close to the end zone and then just kicking field goals or doing something crazy. And BYU was absolutely terrible. They were terrible. It's disgusting.
BYU is skated by a lot of games this year, and
Yeah.
I mean they haven't had to play the most competent competition until now, but Texas Tech just seems to be the best team in that league, and no one else even wants to try, apparently.
Yeah. And another big game from Jacob Rodriguez, 14 tackles and an interception in that one. Who is number 10?
Georgia Tech.
Yes.
Despite the ACC's best efforts, with no one wanting to win this conference, apparently, Georgia Tech seems to be the most competent team out there, or in this conference, and basically, I mean, there's 5 teams in this conference with 1 loss.
Let's talk about this, please. What are they doing? What are they doing? And I feel like I'm most confident in Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And the rest of the teams, I just don't even understand how they only have 1 loss.
I mean, because none of them seem to play anyone good ever. And, Virginia lost to Wake, but I think they lost their quarterback. But I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but this conference is just garbage. Pitt still has a very good. Is probably with their schedule, they have the best chance to getting to the conference championship game to play Georgia Tech at this point, I think. And it's just, I mean, Louisville lost.
Oh my gosh!
So
yes,
that's another one down. They did. That wasn't even. Was it to Cal? I think.
to Cal.
Yeah. I don't know what. And if I saw the end of that game. That was just garbage quarterback play by Louisville.
Yeah.
Moss was not anything worth putting on the field. So, I mean, the ACC, whoever comes out of the ACC is going to be in this spot. I don't know what to tell you.
Miami, terrible.
Yeah, they got 2 losses. So, I mean, the odds, mathematically, Miami is out of the ACC championship game at this point. I don't see
Very funny.
realistic. I mean, very small chance, but I think it's realistic. How will they get in?
Yeah, Duke and SMU still in the mix.
Yeah,
Pitt has been the hottest team, like you were saying. Like I just don't understand this conference.
Yeah, they're ranked the first time.
Duke is still in the mix, and they are 5-4 overall. Like this conference makes me so angry. I don't understand it. What are y'all? Get it together, man. Damn. I don't.
I mean,
like,
even with Virginia, we watched their games, and I was like, somebody's going to get them eventually, or at least somebody should, because they were what they won 2 or 3 games in overtime. And they had a lot of games where they won by 2 or 3 points. It was a lot of just by the skin of their teeth. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of imposters going on in this league. It seems.
Yeah. So someone figure it out. I mean, come on, enough. All right, number 11.
Notre Dame. They
They beat up
beat
on
the
poor Navy.
undefeated Navy this week. Yeah, poor Navy, though, still leading their conference. Um,
What's going on? There's so much chaos. So much.
it's madness. It's madness. Um, but the problem with Notre Dame, they haven't beaten anybody really worth talking about. Um, they got a close loss to A&M and Miami. Miami's not as good as we thought, but A&M is still really good. But yeah, they've got so many. They've got. I think their best win is against Southern Cal,
Yep.
who's ranked like 23rd or something like that.
Yeah.
And they just don't play anybody else to really boost their hype. So,
No, I guess so. They got Pitt this weekend, and they're right there, number 24, but not a huge win
yeah.
if they pull it off. I don't know. This is tough because you're right. Those were very close losses. They're probably pulling like so hard for Miami the rest of the way to make that loss look even better.
Yeah. And they'll get in as long as they don't lose again, they'll get in just because they're Notre Dame.
Yes, this is tradition at this point.
Yeah.
Who do you think will be the Group of 5 team at number 12?
So all year I've thought it was going to be the American League champion, which at this point is still up in the air between apparently USF and Tulane and Memphis. None of them can seem to get their shit together to put anything to make a clear winner. And then Navy, obviously they were undefeated, but they've still got to play those 3 games coming up. At USF and Memphis, so there's most likely going to get knocked out of the championship game. So, as of right now, the team with the best chance to take the final spot is James Madison. 8-1 James Madison.
They don't have like huge wins, I guess.
Yeah.
But they do have an impressive resume in that their only loss was a 2-score game against Louisville.
Yeah.
And they do finish up.
It was like September 30th or something like that, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the second week of the season, actually. So they've beaten everybody else. They're 8-1, I believe, undefeated in the conference, playing App State, Washington State, and Coastal to finish the year.
Would, probably be their biggest game.
Yeah. So, they've kind of shocked me too. They got Bob Chesney is their head coach. I had to Google this because I was like, who even coaches them now? His second year there. They won 9 games last season. So I like this. I think that's just enough chaos for me to be pleased.
Well, it would be kind of a little bit of karma, I guess, where when JMU came into the FBS, they got screwed out of their conference championship. Because they were undefeated, but that no one would allow them to play in the conference championship because it was their first year. That stupid rule that we've discussed before.
Yes, so this would be very funny for them to kind of end up on the right side of karma. And they also have that quarterback Matthew Sluka, who played at UNLV and left for NIL reasons. Yes, left like mid-season. Like it was a couple games in, and they had like an upset win, and he wanted a raise, and they said no. And so he left, and I believe he's their backup now. So tough.
That worked out well for him.
Yes, sixth year playing college football. So
wow,
good for him.
Well, I guess he got trying to get money while he can. I guess.
Exactly. Like he's someone who needs to do that because probably not going to do this professionally. Not when you got to beat out quarterbacks like Daniel Jones. All right, let us move to this week's games. most exciting, most important, best non-Big Ten SEC game. What is the most important game in terms of the Captain PD playoff picture?
Most important game is Georgia versus Texas.
I'm very excited for this, yes.
For the simple reason that, I mean, they're going to be two great, they're kind of similar teams, but there's absolutely no reason. If we need Texas to lose because there's no way they should be in the college football playoff. They have looked like garbage all year and have just skated by. But I don't want to see any more Texas at all. So we need to put the nail on the coffin on that garbage and get them out of here.
Yeah, you had your chance. You've looked bad. I actually think less of Ohio State because of how they looked against Texas to open the season.
Yeah. Ohio State was starting a fresh quarterback too, so obviously I don't put a lot of faith in week one results anyways. But both those, when we watched them play, it was just clear that they were just both protecting their quarterback because they didn't want their quarterback to fuck it up.
Yeah. So, yeah, that one's going to be really good. We did not talk about Gunnar Stockton, but is he in the Heisman conversation for you?
No. He's more of he's kind of like Tim Tebow-esque.
Yeah, I think he'd be like early 2000s Heisman conversation.
Yeah, he's a white guy who can run, but I don't think of him as a particularly accurate quarterback. And I don't have a lot of faith in him, but he can put his head down and get 3 yards if he needs to.
Yeah. So, okay. That is going to be a really good one. Texas is in 6.5-point underdog at the moment.
Yeah, it's at Georgia. It's at Sanford Stadium, so Georgia should be rocking. But Texas has a great defense to just not. I don't think they're going to put up any points.
No, I don't think it matters. Unfortunately, Arch just has not really figured it out this year. All right, the most exciting game on the slate for this week is
Alabama and Oklahoma. These teams have put up points in some pretty exciting fashion before, and there's a lot of pressure on this game. Obviously Alabama to get into the playoffs, win the conference, and all that kind of stuff. And then Oklahoma is like they're already in playoff mode. They can't lose another game if they want to be in the playoffs, barring something weird happening and getting a three-loss team in. But a lot of pressure on both these teams. So I think these are not like Oklahoma's got a great defense. Alabama's got a great offense. How those two will mesh, and I'm not sure what to think about Mateer, but
I think he stinks. That's what I think about him. I think he is bad. I don't think he's a good quarterback. Now, in fairness to him, that could just be I don't know how much Brent Venables cares about having a quarterback do great things. I think he's so focused on defense that
he's a one-trick.
He's just like whatever. Yeah. So it might not be Mateer's fault, but I do think he stinks. He stunk this year at least. He's displayed the behavior of a quarterback who stinks. And that's been ever since Venables took over. Jackson Arnold,
Hawkins.
I think okay, Mateer, you stink. I'm sorry. Might not be your fault. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I know he's been hurt too.
Yeah, he had surgery on his thumb, I think.
Yeah, so, very brave of you to return. I respect it. A true warrior. Haven't been good at football. So, and on the other end, Ty Simpson, that guy has been pretty good.
Pretty good. But the problem with Alabama, they don't have much of a running game.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It's just not this is not a Nick Saban Alabama, so
no.
Kalen DeBoer's got a little bit of philosophy going on, so it's just we're used to seeing Alabama do Alabama things for 20 years, and now that they're not doing those things and still winning games, it's a little weird.
Yeah, leading rusher Jam Miller, 321 yards on the season. We are 9 games in.
That should be like a single season or
Jesus.
single game stat for an Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what's happening there, but I do think that one's going to be a good one. I am interested to see, like you're saying, we got Ty Simpson,
Yeah.
21 touchdowns, 1 interception, going up against that Oklahoma defense. We will see if Mr. Simpson. I still haven't fully bought into him as a great quarterback. So
I expect to see some interceptions going either way. Both, when each defense gets some.
Yeah.
So it could be entertaining.
Yes. All right. Now the best non-Big Ten SEC game.
The best non-Big Ten SEC is USF and Navy. Navy is still leading that conference. USF still can get in. There's like a 4-way tie going on. I think Memphis is kind of out of it now because they've got 2 losses, but they could fight their way in. And Navy's the one here that if they win out, they're in.
Yep.
So a lot of pressure on this game to get into the playoffs for these 2 teams.
Yeah, and we talk about it every week now, but the end of season schedule here for Navy, like my goodness. Whew. If they get in, they have truly earned it.
Yes.
Because I don't know.
And I would love to see them get in. I just,
yes.
To see a service team get in would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. Especially their quarterback has 3 times as many rushing yards as Jam Miller for Alabama. So they're coming. We're throwing it back to the 1930s with this
probably
football.
Just as many passing yards as Jam Miller too.
Yeah. Yes. So I think it would be amusing. Any other games to talk about this week?
So another game, just it kind of matters but doesn't matter because Kennesaw State is playing Jacksonville State. They're both undefeated in their conference, but Kennesaw State cannot get into their conference championship game because of that stupid rule. Because this is their first year in the FBS. Wow.
Conference USA, the superior Gamecocks of Jacksonville State, which I just learned last year, I believe, is in Alabama.
I thought it was Georgia.
Is it? Let's confirm this because I for sure spent most of my life thinking it was in Jacksonville, Florida.
That's where I thought it was until they joined the FBS.
And it's in Jacksonville, Alabama.
Okay.
Which, congratulations to them. I did not know you existed. That's entirely on me. But that one's a close one according to Vegas. 3.5 point spread. And Kennesaw State is the slight favorite there.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville State, they run the shit out of the ball. Their running back has almost 1,200 yards on the season, 12 touchdowns. They're not fucking around, and their quarterback just doesn't really throw it. So,
why would you?
Yep. Well, if you got that guy, just do not overthink this. Just make it happen. So, pretty good slate of games. Last week's games didn't have like the big matchups, but I didn't necessarily mind the games. And I in my old age, I've come to appreciate games between teams whose seasons they're basically just fighting for a bowl spot at this point. Yeah. And I like seeing them play each other. Something about it seems very pure to me. And so I enjoy watching those games now, even though it doesn't matter to people like ESPN, who first of all don't even want you to see it.
No, apparently not. They've made that very clear.
Yes. But also, everything is college football playoff. But I do like seeing, like, okay, Mississippi State, you get out there, guys, and you try your hardest, okay?
Yeah.
And it didn't work, but that's okay. because you tried. And we had that little text message we sent to Petey where y'all are my favorite team for 3.5 minutes. So. Speaking of favorite teams,
Yeah.
Captain Petey, do you hear that sound?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. The seas are rough, my friend, but it is time for the Gamecocks football captain's log, brought to you by Morris Island Charters. Good news, did not lose this past weekend. South Carolina was on a bye, so that's really what we're counting on the rest of the way to stay undefeated. Yes. All right, so we've got this Saturday noon on ESPN. It says here that we are taking on the number 3 team in the nation, Texas A&M.
According to myself and the country, Texas A&M is the number 3 team. They run the ball very well, and they have. Oh, speaking of Heisman contender, Reed.
Yeah,
I didn't mention him earlier. Man, they're a good team. They haven't played like the hardest of competition in the SEC, but they are a shit ton better than we are at this point. So, man, we're in for some choppy seas.
Yeah, that is sadly true. Yeah, I Reed is another one of those guys who I don't know quite what to make of him yet.
Yeah.
However, just a sophomore, he's got A&M as the number 3 team in the country. The offense does look really good.
Yeah. He's made plays when they needed him to make plays.
That's the key. That's the key, because like he'll have moments throughout the game where you're like, you can tell he's inexperienced. But when it's time to make a play, he makes a play. And as much as I hate A&M fans, this is a great A&M team, and I don't want to play them.
I never want to play them. And I don't know why we have to play them. Ever since they came into the SEC, we have to play them every fucking year for some reason.
It's ridiculous.
We have beaten them, what, twice? Maybe once, twice?
Because we had them. We had the Rally Snake game, I believe, or Tailgate Snake.
Tailgate Snake.
And then we beat
was last year, but the Tailgate Snake was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes, I think that was Xavier Legette ran back the opening kickoff with one shoe.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
And then last year we stormed the field last year too, so we were feeling pretty good.
Yeah. I have some video with a couple players.
Yes, I don't know if I would do that this year. I feel a little sore. But it was fun at the time.
You can go to Texas to do it if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. Not to College Station. So I guess the main question is, how do we get out of playing this game? And what do we do?
Can we just?
And then, is there any possible way we pull this off somehow?
No. That's insanity. What are you talking about? Win?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly if every single player on Texas A&M's team just got diarrhea and just could not stop shitting themselves.
It would have to be bad diarrhea, though.
Yeah, they'd have to never be able to get off the toilet. So that'd be the only way. And even then, I don't know, would it just be? Would they just cancel the game? I don't think they would forfeit. I don't think we would get the technical win there.
Yeah, that would be tough. This is gonna be tough. This is gonna be just probably not so much fun for us to watch.
No.
What kind of optimism, if any, do you have going into this one with Mike Shula not calling the plays?
Well, we might not get 15 false starts from their center. So
that'd be nice.
That'd be something to look forward to. We could actually snap the ball on time. And actually snap it to the quarterback and not just have the center flinch because he got scared or something. But, that'd be an improvement.
That would be.
Something that I would really like to see come out of this game is Lenora Sellers not get murdered. That'd be fantastic.
Impressive.
If we could have him survive through this game in order to play against Clemson, then that would be a huge plus.
Yes.
If I could see him have a little bit more accuracy and maybe throw the ball out of bounds when it's clearly a dead play, that'd be awesome too. But that might be asking too much.
Yes, I agree. Let's not get nuts here. Do you think this is the week we join the other 135 teams in FBS football and in the game with 350 yards of total offense?
I would say unlikely.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, now it's time to consult the Dolphins. The spread as of right now is 18.5. You might be shocked to hear this, but it is in favor of Texas A&M.
I was surprised it's only 18.5. I was thinking it was like 22 or something.
Where are the Dolphins laying their entertainment porpoises this week?
It depends on when A&M takes their starters out. Do they take them out after the second half or the second quarter? Can we backdoor this cover?
That's my hope.
If the season has been any indicator of what is to come, I would say no, because usually all the points we score are going to be on the first drive of the game. So the Dolphins have been whispering, they're not super confident in this, but they would like to place their entertainment porpoises on A&M to cover. I think A&M covers it with like 21-22.
I think 3 touchdowns feels right to me.
Yeah.
The hope, obviously, is if the defense can generate turnovers. I think they only have, it looks like 7 interceptions and 1 lost fumble on the season.
But if you're an A&M, why would you throw the ball? They're just going to run it down our throat.
That is also true.
They like to throw the ball. Like to run the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason why they would have to deviate from that game plan, unless like we did against Alabama, just like submarine their their offensive line and kind of just like stop them up front. I don't think that'll happen, but that is something that could happen, but unlikely.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that Reed is a dual threat guy either. That's caused us a lot of issues this season, and really, as long as I can remember. So, yeah, I think three touchdowns. That feels like how this game turns out. The defense. We can't keep asking the defense to perform the way that they have, which is not even super spectacular, but just coming up with big plays.
Good enough. They've been good enough. And our offense has been way not good enough.
Yeah.
Not even close to good.
Like, we have not allowed... Looks like we haven't... have we not allowed more than... Never mind. Oh, my gosh. I'm looking at the scores. This is getting really... Yeah, why did I look at the scores? This is terrible. So, yeah, we haven't allowed more than 30 points. That was... No, 31 against Vanderbilt. That was the most we've allowed. It feels like we're due for someone just to really go to town on us. And I'm afraid this might be the week. So I could see this being... Well, it can't be 42-21 because we'll never score 3 touchdowns on our own. No, you know what? There's going to be a bit of mystery this week.
It could be like 38-7 or
yeah. So, yeah. So, so that's depressing. But you don't have to do that. You could just go on a boat tour with Captain Petey if you're here in the Low Country area. Captain Petey, how can they make that happen?
Look me up, morrisislandcharter.com. Call me, text me, 843-608-8006. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Morris Island Charters. Email me, morrisislandcharters@gmail.com.
Beautiful. That will do it for this week. We will see y'all later, and we will talk more about non-white quarterbacks. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.